episode of Hard Factor, presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Thursday, July 2nd, 2020. And boys, are you guys ready? The big weekend's coming up, 4th of July. You got your plans?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's my favorite holiday, Will. It's better than Christmas, Thanksgiving, President's Day.
Oh, wow.
It's easily the best holiday.
The creme de la creme.
For me, if I got like sun and explosions, cold ones, you really can't beat it.
It is good.
We're going somewhere, right, Pat?
Yeah, Mark and I, we have our annual, this is our second year, our annual 4th of July trip together. We like to go into the hill country. I think we're going to have some wine this time. We're going to wine country, Mark and I. It's going to be real nice.
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Wine country.
Nice romantic vacation for
Yeah,
two.
we might set up an Instagram account just for it. So keep your eyes peeled.
There's a jacuzzi. There's vineyards. Yeah. There's a backyard with a grill.
You guys going to get some massages? Going to go to a spa?
Man, I might massage Mark. I don't know if he'll return. Ooh.
I have CBD oil.
How's your back hair right now?
For massage. Not great. My wife, actually, who will be joining us, is she's going to shave my back today.
Okay. Well, if she can't, you know that I'm always, you can always pinch hit.
That's true. I appreciate that. What about
Very
you,
nice.
Will? What are you doing?
Yep, still on Corona lockdown, so not very pretty anticlimactic for the 4th of July when everything's about community and loving your fellow Americans.
But I like the plan that you told me off air. I'm kind of stoked on your plan. Sounds good to me.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm going to do like 4th of July at home, dogs, fancy drinks, whatever else. But that's,
You treat yourself at home, though, Will. That's what I like.
Spoiler alert, we'll talk about our favorite 4th of July stuff on tomorrow's podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow's podcast is going to be just nice.
Yeah, it'll be
fine.
just fine. But today, we've got all the top stories coming at you for Thursday. And Mark, get us going with those.
All right, guys. Well, let's just start off the show with an update on the two presidential candidates, the current sitting president, Donald Trump, and the presumptive Democratic candidate, Joe Biden. What have those spry young men been up to this week, right?
Right? Yeah, probably not being scared of coronavirus because they're so unlikely to be affected by it because they're so young and spry.
I like how neither one
Jack
of them.
be nimble, Jack be quick.
Neither one of them will get tested for coronavirus.
No. Trump gets tested every day.
Does he?
Biden has never gotten tested.
What is that
which
with
was
that?
the weirdest thing ever in his speech.
Biden was like, "No, I don't," but everyone around me
He's
does.
like, I want everybody else in America to be tested yesterday, but me, I don't need a test.
He's just
That
flexing
made no
his king
sense.
shit. That's king shit right there.
No, it's just that made no sense. That was poorly planned.
That is not good. Both Biden and Trump have a little bit of "do as I say, not as I do" type.
Right,
type
the
characters.
masks and the testing, but they both have it in reverse. It's weird. It's like Trump gets tested every day but won't wear a mask. Biden will wear a mask but refuses to get tested even though he wants everybody to get tested. It's insane.
Yeah, if you could just mold them together, you'd have one semi-okay old man.
Yeah, it's true.
Instead of...
would you? I think it would make for a worse candidate.
I don't know. But let's start with Trump. Was he briefed or not on the Russian bounties on American soldiers' heads in Afghanistan, right? The big thing. Was he or not? So Trump said he wasn't, which has been corroborated by National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, who said the CIA advisor who is responsible for giving Trump his presidential daily briefs, or PDBs, did not choose to tell him about the Russian bounties because they weren't 100% sure of the accuracy of the intelligence. So they decided to apparently... this is a theme where they err on the side of caution and not say bad news about Russia to Trump in that administration is the rumor. Like, unless you have concrete evidence that Russia's doing something, don't waste your time telling Trump that Russia's fucking around. But hey, O'Brien says the CIA advisor didn't tell him. Trump says the CIA advisor didn't tell him. He's now been briefed, but that he wasn't briefed at the time. So
not until the New York Times put out their article to tell everybody about it.
Right, yeah, because someone asked Biden in the during his speech, right, and then Biden went after Trump saying, "Well, you got to read your PBDs. It's a dereliction of duty if you don't." But
correct.
Yeah, well, the VP only reads the PBDs. To be fair, I mean, like, what else does the VP do besides masturbate in his office?
He did say he read those PDBs for 8 years straight.
I read them twice a day. Actually,
short day.
I read them 3 times a day. I had plenty of time.
Short day for those guys.
Well, what happened is, it's now a lot of people are saying he totally should have been briefed on that, and they don't, believe it. It's a he said, she said. It's really a he said he didn't versus, she said he's bullshitting us, or a press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, versus the New York Times, as Will mentioned. She came out, Trump defending Trump this week and said that Trump does in fact read when defending the president.
That was a great quote.
Yeah, because she's defending the president when they asked why he didn't read the daily briefings like his past 7 predecessors have. Instead, he opts for oral briefings. He's an audiobooks guy.
He's a books on tape guy.
Yeah, he's
You
a books
telling me
on tape guy.
You telling me W read every PDB?
Well, his administration at least said he did.
Yeah.
The news was.
I'm
he
sure
said he did.
Obama read every single word of every single one.
I mean,
too.
look, we
Yeah,
all know.
so did
these guys-
Clinton.
none
So
of
did
these
Clinton. Yeah, and
I think they all take it orally. You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
we all know when you're at work and there's, in your day job, whatever, and you have like a daily email, 2 weeks, 3 weeks in, you're like, I don't want to read this anymore. But it's pretty important. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean it is.
Treat it like a
There's a lot
memo
of important
from
stuff in there.
accounting.
They're daily briefs,
I
right?
got the gist.
So Biden, like Pat said that whether or not Trump was briefed, he's derelict of his duties. That he should have been briefed, and if he was briefed, he's unfit to be president. That was one of the least confusing parts of the Biden speech from this week, which I'll get to a little later. Last thing for Trump, on Wednesday, he called New York City's decision to paint Black Lives Matter on Fifth Avenue, right outside the Trump Tower, a symbol of hate, is what he called the Black Lives Matter.
Come
weird
on.
choice of words there for the
Yeah.
Times, huh?
Come on.
Yeah, he didn't really use symbol of hate for other things like in Charlottesville or any of that stuff. But hey, you know what happened here? Do you know what happened here? They painted Black Lives Matter in huge font leading up to the White House, and that really pissed him off. And now they're going
but
after
they did
Trump
in
Tower.
DC and in New
And
York.
now in
okay.
Trump Tower, and now he's like, okay, that's it. Now I
Well,
gotta
and they
say
keep
something.
renaming
Yeah.
the streets Black Lives Matter Plaza just to piss him off too. But
Yeah,
just
they
take your
got the
lumps.
reaction. They got the reaction they wanted out of him. A very busy Kaylee, the press secretary, said what the president was noting in that symbol. When you look at some of the things that have been chanted by Black Lives Matter, is things like pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. That's not an acceptable phrase to paint on our streets. Then she added, the president thinks all Black lives matter. She added all
Whoa.
before.
Checked a couple
all before-
boxes
Next
there.
level.
You know what? Kaylee's she's been grinding my gears, but I will say, what a delight she would be to have in an argument with your partner or your girlfriend or your wife, right? Like Kaylee arguing on your
McEnany.
behalf. You wouldn't lose because she figures out a way to, she's spin zone city.
She's amazing. She's an amazing press secretary. She's already done Trump as the Antifa president. Now
Yeah.
she has morphed all lives matter and Black Lives Matter.
She added it all to it. Yeah.
You know what
That's
she's
pretty
like?
good.
She's
She's
like,
innovating the game of press
Yeah.
secretary.
you know, like sometimes you maybe you'll be on the street and like a crazy looking homeless guy takes issue with you, but he's so fucking crazy. You're like, no way, I'm touching that. He's so intense. That's what Kaylee's like. She comes out so intense that you're just like, whoa, okay, all right.
Well,
She
she's
does.
prepared too.
It's
She's
in the
prepared.
eyes. Yeah, she's very prepared.
She'd be like a corner preacher where she has the memorized scripture like ready to go.
She's good. Rudy Giuliani got in on the action saying Black Lives Matter is a Marxist organization. So great job there, Rudy, who decided to get in the mix. Now go ahead and head back to your scotch, buddy.
Oh no,
What are you
Scotch,
doing?
Scotch would
defund
kill
the
him.
police.
Yeah,
Does that
what are you
mean-
doing? I don't know. I don't know. He just had to. He hasn't been in the media recently, so he had to shout something about Black Lives
Toss it
Matter.
in there.
Yeah. Back to Biden. Biden gave a live speech this week as everyone on his campaign staff tried to not overdose on Xanax. That's got to be one of the more stressful moments in your life. A campaign leadership role for Biden in 2020 on speech day. That's a tough day.
Oh, we saw a preview of it when he did the Breakfast Club interview, and whoever was his press secretary kept trying to get him off the interview, but you could hear the concern in the guy's voice. We're really out of time. We really got to get him.
Well, this speech ended the exact same way.
Do you think I should know this, but do you think they only hire bald people? Because they're going to lose their hair if they're on the Biden,
I mean, they only hire people that last a week because nobody can get him off stage when he starts rambling.
yeah, he needs a
yeah.
hook. You got to get that guy a hook.
They need a literal Apollo hook to get him off the stage.
Well, guess what, guys? He stumbled a lot in his speech. And then after he stumbled through his speech, he took several softball questions from the media before apologizing for leaving.
The question round is my favorite part. Let's open it up to questions. Wait, maybe Mike C from MSBC is
Yeah.
here. Like,
What
it
was
was
that
so
about?
scripted.
What was that?
Scripted.
'Cause-
It was so scripted.
Because then
and
the
he's,
journalist was
trying
like,
to act.
the journalist was like,
Yeah.
oh, I guess that'll work. Like the journalist was
Right,
taking
no,
it back.
Pat. They were. It was scripted, 100% scripted, and they were trying to act like it was totally not scripted. It was so weird.
It's like it's like a magic show. He's like, I'll just pick someone randomly out of the crowd.
Right,
And
but
it's
he
like-
was too like out
is
of
never
it and too not aware. He couldn't run it. He couldn't convince people that it wasn't scripted.
I will
he
say
botched
though,
it.
the last question before he walked off stage, I did appreciate where the guy was like, "Hey Joe, you've been tested for cognitive decline," and he's like, "I test it all the time by
I'll do a cognitive off. Yeah.
That was the answer. I can't wait to cognitive myself versus Donald Trump's cognitive.
That's why we're declaring they should have an academia decathlon, which would be incredible. But I feel like one of the questions for Biden on these speech days should be, do you remember what the last question asked you before this was?
Ooh. Do you really want to kill the man on national television?
Stumper. Yeah.
You want to see his head explode?
I'd like to know if he remembered it. Apparently, he will be doing the rest of his campaign remotely due to COVID. Yep. So back to the basement forever.
Not even going to go out of the bunker. Just
back to the basement forever for him.
It's a perfect storm of shit. What?
Yeah, it's not great, right? The two candidates. Yeah. So it's back to the basement forever for him. He did say he would participate in, I guess, 3 presidential debates is what I heard. Which
all 3.
Please, God, make that happen. But we'll have to wait and see on that. And that is the update for the candidates.
Thanks, Mark. Wow. All right, guys. So Hong Kong is pretty much over, unfortunately. Late Tuesday night, the Chinese government passed a new national security law that more or less bitches Hong Kong into being China's permanent living girlfriend again. It's a slow step, but it is a step towards that happening. Guys, they chose July 1st because it was a triple anniversary of terrible shit for July 1st to pass this bill, namely the formation of the Communist Chinese Party, the handover of Hong Kong from Britain to China in 1997, and a break in the city's legislature by pro-democracy activists in 2019. So turning the
July
knife there.
1st, big day.
Yeah,
big day for fascism or communism in this case.
Big day. Yeah. And for those of you guys who suffered from an undiagnosed attention deficit disorder in high school like I did, Hong Kong is a special administrative region of China with its own supposedly independent government. That's what the protests have been about as of late. Guys, the law specifically...
Right, but that's how they've been...
until July 1st.
But there was always like a deadline at that. It wasn't a forever thing.
Right.
When they were handed back over, it was a lease, exactly.
Yeah, so July 1st, Willie, is the start of a slippery slope. That's what's going on with this law. And guys, the law calls out specifically acts of secession, subversion of state power, terrorist activities, and collusion with foreign or external forces to endanger national security. That's what the law read. That's what's illegal now. Certain penalties...
It's the end of like the two system essentially.
It's pretty much saying that Hong Kong can no longer criticize the Chinese government.
They're now under rule of mainland China in terms of their speech and everything else.
Exactly. Certain penalties, guys, go all the way to life in prison, mostly, and in certain cases, death. But what is life in communist China, if not life in prison? Guys, the law supersedes any and all local law and includes a...
I bet it's a lot better than life in prison. That's for sure.
This is tough. This is going to be tough. I wonder how this is going to suck for like the people that, have been very outspoken, the protesters. It's going to be hard for them to transition quickly. And then what about the people that maybe do just try to keep quiet now? Are they going to go dig up their social medias?
Is it going to be canceled?
100%.
Are they going to go? Is China going to go backwards in time and say, this guy talked shit 2 years ago? We're going to
communism canceled.
So almost overnight,
that sucks.
A number of political parties disbanded. A number of shops, pretty much all shops removed all anti-Chinese government sentiment banners, postcards, all this stuff that they were kind of selling during the Hong Kongers protests. And yes, people are going through their social media and deleting old posts for fear of prosecution.
I recommend that. I highly recommend that. Knowing Chinese government, they're going to come for that ass.
Yeah, the law includes a cute little provision as well that allows the Secretary of Justice, whom I guess handles justice's schedule, to deny trial by jury to anyone he or she wants to. So pretty much if you fuck up, you fucked. In response, though, guys, the U.S. Senate passed the To Me Hong Kong Autonomy Act, which will impose mandatory sanctions on entities that violate China's obligation to Hong Kong under the Joint Declaration. So that's the law that essentially allows Hong Kong to be independent. We also banned exporting defense exports to Hong Kong, and this is out of security concerns. So we're not sending them any military technology or any software technology because we're afraid that now China's got their dirty little fingers inside of them. They'll steal it from us, and we also canceled Hong Kong's preferential trade status.
Oh, yeah. Because they're now part of China, officially. Not so much so that this is how far it's gone. There's people being arrested on the street for just having free Hong Kong flag.
Right. So yesterday, police made their first arrest of a man holding a banner that read Hong Kong independence. He's in jail now.
back to the NBA thing. I hope that a few of the players put something about Hong Kong on their jerseys.
They won't. They won't be allowed to.
I know they won't.
How
but
much
they
does
should.
China own of the NBA, or it's just that they have such a huge
Well,
market
it's just
for
that
the NBA?
it's a big market for
Yeah.
the NBA.
Merch.
Ever since Yao Ming. Yao Ming made a huge over.
Can I write a check?
Camera check. It sucks for Hong Kong. We knew this day was coming, but it's sad for them.
It's over for them. What's up with the chop?
Boys, the Chop had a good run, but as we alluded to earlier this week, the Chaz Chop in Seattle is finally done. It's officially done now. Seattle's mayor, Jenny Durkin.
By the way, sorry to interrupt, but Hong Kong way sadder than the Chop ending.
Oh, well, yeah, that was an actual real community. The Chop was
Shouldn't even be in the same show that we're talking about the Chop ending the same day that we're talking about Hong Kong ending.
I refuse for you to disparage the Chop from being an actual community.
Pat, I'm just about to disparage the Chop only in this next 5 minutes. So,
well, I don't. That's what I'm saying. But it's a community, okay?
No,
Pat's a Chop guy.
You want to hear how easy it was to disband the Chop? Listen to this shit. So Seattle's mayor, Jenny Durkin, finally declared an emergency early Wednesday morning to deputize the use of police force to clear out and reestablish the Chop as part of Seattle, Greater Seattle, okay? So why did she do that now? She just now does it. Well, because the Chop devolved into a lawless zone where criminal activity was thriving, and it was very, very dangerous. People were getting shot left and right. It was terrible. Oh, my God, no way.
She yelled, "Free hot water over here."
Yeah.
That's all it took.
Right. No. Well, all it took, Mark, was 31 arrests for failing to disperse and some volunteers in orange jackets cleaning up the trash out of the Chop like they were waiters kicking you out of a restaurant that had closed, and everybody fucking left.
They played Closing Time. They played Closing Time by Third Eye Blind or the Frank Sinatra song.
The Chop folded with restaurant treatment. They just hadn't done it.
They're sweeping. They're sweeping around you. They're mopping around you.
Seattle is a joke, dude. That's ridiculous. All they had to do was restaurant treat them, and they would leave. And they didn't do it for a fucking month.
They turned on New York, and muscle memory. They just walked out.
Yeah.
Do you need anything else, or are you okay? Okay.
Yeah. Here's your bill.
I'm gonna put the check
$0
right here. Whenever you're ready. Okay. No rush.
Right.
Oh, God.
So nothing changes, by the way. Mayor Durkin, she finally took a stand, but the protesters obviously are still pissed. They're like, we're going to come back in a different area some other day.
Please
Mayor Durkin,
don't.
thanks. Well, I mean, it's so silly. All you had to do was do the restaurant, and everybody's gone. And then, anyhow.
But we knew that. We knew that the day that they decided to end it, it was going to end. They were just letting them have their little fun for a while.
Don't hate on it. It's cool that this experiment happened. It didn't work, and it was never gonna. But it's cool that it happened.
I think cool that it happened?
It was dumb. Taking it back to the East Coast, New York City is making actual moves by slashing $1 billion in New York Police Department funding and replacing it with notably less than $1 billion in other community programs in New York City, putting education departments in charge of some things that cops used to be in charge of. And it basically seems like everybody is upset by this. City officials like AOC and others want deeper cuts to defund the police because they're legitimately wanting to defund them entirely, while the NYPD is obviously livid for having $1 billion taken away. And the only person who seems really happy is Mayor Bill de Blasio for getting to replace $1 billion police dollars with $850 million other dollars, less than $1 billion, basically saved money.
Oh, he's going to blow it. He's going to blow that $850 million on some bullshit.
And so, mind you, this is being done in New York City while shootings are surging, well above normal rates at the moment.
So, interesting thing. I heard an interview with a police commissioner the other day, and I think the big challenge of the debate that's happening with the defunding of the police is right, we get it. Like, what they want to do is hire social workers and therapists to handle things that police shouldn't have to handle, right? But I think most police are upset because they're generally at max capacity when they're on the job. So they're sitting there saying, how are you going to take some of us away? When we're already overworked.
Yeah.
Tons. Yeah, it's gonna remove people from the streets for sure. Uniformed officers, and that brings me to my final point. I finally watched Waco on Netflix.
It's a good one, right?
Great, good docuseries. Nobody when we were kids was willing to talk about Waco, and now I understand why it was so fucked up.
Basically
the FBI, ATF mainly, but FBI after that really also
Well, yeah, the
fucked up.
ATF was the first shooting of the door, but the fire I'm talking
Giant
about.
fuck up. Giant
Yeah.
fuck up that could have been totally avoided with a simple culture change at the federal law enforcement level in that situation. All they had to do was not defund anybody, but just listen to Michael Shannon instead of the other people and not blindly attack American civilians. So maybe people should shift their focus in law enforcement to putting Michael Shannon peoples in charge instead of the never-ending debate about what the fuck you should regulate or fund or whatever. Maybe just get like level-headed people that don't want to attack civilians in charge.
Yeah. Did you watch did you watch the dramatized version or the doc?
I don't know. The one on Netflix.
The one with Michael Shannon. The one
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Shannon.
The
Yeah,
one
so-
with Riggs from Friday Night
You know
Lights,
what's interesting is they wanted to make that in Texas, and the Texas has a film incentive, and Texas would not give the film incentive because it portrayed Texas in a negative light, so they had to make it in
Yeah, I was going to say,
Louisiana.
because it didn't look like Waco, right?
Yeah, it's
So where did they
bullshit.
film?
Yeah, and they didn't let the work come here because it was like, oh, we don't like
So
to
where are
show
they
off that
filming it?
part.
It's not that hard to rebuild a farm and a barn, guys. Not
Well,
that
yeah,
hard.
but the grass looks like it would look different
grass.
in Texas.
Yeah.
I agree,
whatever.
Will. Different
Whatever.
grass.
You guys are nuts. Okay.
Why you
it
hate
was
grass,
a
Mark?
good show though. I mean, I don't
Great
hate
show.
grass. I think the set looked fine. Hey guys, this is Tuesday. This Tuesday, a man in Santa Cruz, California, lost his mind, but amazingly not his life. It all started in the afternoon when police got reports that a lunatic was firing a gun in the air, and the man decided it was in for a penny, in for a pound time when he took his act to the road by carjacking someone at gunpoint, the same gun he was firing into the air. But he didn't sit on their laps and have them drive while he was on their laps like that other guy. He gave the person he stole the car from the courtesy of leaving them on the side of the road while he took off. So at least he did that, which was nice. But
So like a
Professional. That's
proper
pro.
carjacking.
That's
a real
pro.
carjacking, old school carjacking. The nut job then took speeds to over 100 miles per hour into the Santa Cruz city and neighborhoods because, again, he was turned up to 11 that day and he was staying there at this point. It got so dangerous that the cops just had to call off the chase completely because they're like, this is way too dangerous to be following him for the community. We have to just let him go.
Dude, that is
so they just
that's like that is next level criminal shit. Like that is when
Isn't
you
that-
peak as a criminal when the cops have to back off your high speed chase because you're too erratic. Like that's when you know
Yes.
you chose
Yeah.
the right path and you were at the top of your game in your field.
Well,
Yeah, I don't want to hear about someone that you know I had a great high speed. I led them on a great high speed chase. Did they fucking back off?
Yeah, did they
because it was
stop?
Well, but
Did they-
also,
it's,
did
like,
they-
it's like being knighted by the police.
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
yeah, but it is. But you have to survive it for it to really be badass.
No, well,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
you go out
I
on
mean-
top.
No. Because if you just go out in a blaze of glory like that, you're literally just like flaming out. That's it.
That
Well,
was
look,
yeah, but
Will's
come
onto
on.
something there.
Okay.
Will's onto something there, though. It was too dangerous for them, you know, so they called it off. But it was so dangerous, in fact, that the man Thelma and Louised himself off a cliff at 100 miles per hour and into the Pacific Ocean.
Fuck yes.
And unlike Bodie at the end of Point Break, though, he survived the crashing waves, crawled up the cliff's edge to his immediate arrest, which I'm sure required a good deal of wrestling. I don't
Okay,
think he-
pretty
I don't think
badass.
he-
Yeah.
yeah, right off the cliff at 100 miles an hour. There's video of like the Jeep he stole, like doing flips in the waves, and he got out of the car, climbed up the rock cliff, and got arrested. And was like, "Fuck you!" And like,
Yeah, that's not all he did. He also secured himself a fucking book deal because I want to hear about this guy's life. That is
pretty-
awesome.
pretty
What drove
wild.
him there? I have like a lot of like unpaid bills, angry girlfriends. I don't know. Like how old is he?
It didn't give a lot of personal information about the man. But I mean, if he can just harness this energy and steer it towards good, who knows what he can do? You know, he's talented.
All right, guys, real quick. My old friends at Delta Airlines, they're at it again, guys. Yeah, you may remember back in February when Delta's terribly engineered reclining seats destroyed my laptop by crushing the screen. Right? When that
could
fucking
forget?
asshole in seat 11A fully reclined while I was doing important work, building fake campaign ads for Mark, destroying my lifeline by no fault of my own whatsoever.
It also ruined Mark's coronavirus czar campaign.
No, it was
Yeah.
timely.
Well,
we were going to go viral. I was really proud
And
of the
I would
ads.
argue America, because it hasn't gone so well for us with COVID, has it?
Anyway, they never did pay for my computer. So Delta announced, guys, that it'd be further distancing itself from the working man on Tuesday with a statement via their website indicating that they would, in fact, be bringing back alcohol service on their flights effective today, but Those that need alcohol.
Where did it go?
Well, if you guys are good people, unlike myself, and haven't flown on an airplane in the last few months,
Yes.
airlines enacted a policy of not offering food and beverage service in an attempt to limit the spread of COVID. Right, but now, so no one was. They give you a bag when you walk on with like a water and a pretzel, and even in first class. But now,
could you bring your own drinks on like before? Like if you went to the store and got like a Sprite, were you allowed to drink? You bring your own food.
Well, that's always technically been not.
Yeah,
allowed.
I think that's
you had to sneak that below the.
No, you could bring it.
Right?
You could bring in not alcoholic stuff. But
Always,
I am
right,
getting to that next step, Will. Where I'm going to bring airplane
Well,
bottles.
of course.
Too,
What are you going to bring? Just a ginger ale?
No,
Not
I'm
the
gonna bring the
airplane bottle to go with
right.
it.
I'm going to pour
Right.
the vodka in the Sprite. Yeah,
Right.
right, yeah, totally. Well, anyway, guys, back to the story. Delta's fucking the working man because they're bringing alcohol back, but not for those that need alcohol the most. The everyman stuck in the back middle seat surrounded by inconsiderate babies will not be eligible to turn up at 30,000 feet because the alcohol service will only be available to first class and Delta
right,
Comfort Plus passengers.
I'm not flying until that changes.
I agree.
That's ridiculous. I'm not flying until the people on coach can get booze. That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
What don't you know, Mark? I agree. You stand in solidarity. It's like people that refuse to get married until gay marriage was passed. I'm on that train.
It's
You guys are
exactly
saying,
like that.
You guys are saying Delta needs to treat coach the same. I don't know about that. I think that maybe that this is just
they're not giving the
capitalism.
drinks away, Will. Okay. How's
Well,
it
yeah,
capitalism?
that you still got. Wait, they're giving the drinks away in first class.
Yeah, but you
got to
pay
pay
for
for
that
that
with your
the
ticket.
premium.
Delta
you got to pay the
Comfort
premium.
Comfort Plus, they're still to pay for the drinks. The guys in the back can't even buy them.
Time out. If they got the booze on board and they're,
wait,
they're opening the bottles, and
You're
they're
telling
pouring
me
the
they
drinks.
stopped serving the drinks at row 13?
So let me
Yes.
lay down what a Delta
Yes.
flight is for you guys.
That's exactly what we're saying.
Fuck,
That
I thought it
spot-
was just first class. First class, I'm okay with.
No,
but,
Comfort
whoa.
Plus too. That's main cabin. That's main
Will,
cabin to row 13.
That's not acceptable, man. You're gonna see these people getting their screwdrivers. while
Imagine
you're
being
getting
in seat
screw-driven.
14.
Yeah. Whoa. Fuck that. No,
Guys,
not flying.
To further complicate things, these assholes aren't even offering liquor, just beer and wine. But that's
What
a
the
whole other.
fuck?
That's a whole other sack of potatoes.
But still, the guy in front of you, if you're the first person in non-economy plus, and the guy in front of you is just like, sipping his ice cold beer, just like loving it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
be
into that.
I'm gonna be on a viral video the first time I'm going flying and that happens.
Right. Guys, these bourgeoisie assholes, they made a statement saying, we take pride in always listening to our customers, and we know beer and wine are the adult beverages our customers want. Yeah, in the fucking back of the plane, you idiots. This is
You
bullshit.
need him more. Yeah, you need him more.
Yeah, I imagine pretty soon Delta's going to be seeing a lot less hunting rifles and a lot more golf clubs in their oversized baggage hold. To add insult to injury, guys, these enemies of the working class have the audacity to offer Miller Lite as one of their beer options. Come on, you know that? Like, imagine being the fat guy in 32E, and you look down the aisle and you see the one percenters in first class just sipping a cold Miller Lite with their pinkies up while they enjoy the New Yorker
and then
magazine.
having like a disgusted face while they're doing their crossword puzzle. Like,
yeah, you're
I
just
don't
in
even
the
like
back,
Miller Lite.
sober, getting coughed on by an infant. It's fucking.
Now, that you bring up an interesting point, though. What they should do, and this might be fun for the people in the back, is only offer natty ice
Yeah.
to the first like 20 rows.
It should be Edward 40 hands.
That'd actually be great.
And then if you have Edward 40 hands and your hands are taped, it prevents the germs because you're not shaking anyone's hands. They should just immediately when you get in there, they should strap you up with 240s.
Delta, I'm just saying, guys, I'm not re-upping my Sky Miles club membership. Not doing it. I'm going to stay out of the lounge. And once my silver status expires this year, I'm not trying for gold any longer. I'm moving on.
Good call. The airlines have proven to be very tone deaf during coronavirus. They time and time again, and this is just another one of those examples.
Do you know who sits in economy class, guys? Essential workers. You fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah, me as well. All of us.
You
Hard
guys are
fact.
essential to me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. But I would pay probably for the first class if that was the only place where you.
Dude, I bought
I think
three
that's their
first class
plan.
tickets first time in my life when I traveled during COVID because I didn't want to be in the fucking back. No booze. No booze. I got screwed on 3 flights, no booze, bro. And like
It's amazing you've been on 3 first class flights with no booze.
No
You're like
booze.
the only person.
You're like, why
Delta's-
even there?
Delta's going to become like the opposite of Southwest, where it's only first class because of this. Like they just have to extend their first class to every seat because everyone's going to pay to get the booze.
Yeah, well, but you need the seat too. I'm not paying for just the booze. I need the whole experience.
Some elitist shit. Well, let's check and see what's going on in your airline, Willie. I know that you're a United loyalist. I mean, like, I might come over.
Oh no. I cut ties with them long ago. I'm now just whoever's the cheapest on that day.
Freelance.
Sounds like we need to start an airline.
Free agent. Yeah.
Maybe so.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Freedom
no
Air.
lawsuits in that. No lawsuits in that when the plane goes down.
Right. That's an easy business.
Yeah, we'd start with old planes, Mark, but you got to start somewhere.
Let's move it on to a guy who does not need to worry about what airline he's going to fly because he has a lot of his own private jets, and that's Kim Jong-un. And you knew it wasn't going to be long after he got out of the first pleasure cruise he was on, hiding out from the coronavirus, that the North Korean dictator was going to have to make a little bit of noise to remind the world he's still there. He's not dead from the coronavirus. He's just on a pleasure cruise, and he's done it.
Are you sure that they have jets in North Korea yet? We need to fact check that, but
he's got to have at least one plane.
He has them.
I don't.
He's got.
I would blow some minds for the North Koreans if they saw a metal bird overhead.
He's got at least one. He's got at least one Pan Am plane that he bought in an auction somewhere. But earlier this month, Kim Jong-un exploded a liaison office in Kaesong, just north of the border with South Korea, in response to a barrage of pamphlets that groups from South Korea were literally raining down on North Korea. So there's a propaganda technique that the two Koreas have been using against each other since the Korean War, which is to float over pamphlets, balloons like that have pamphlets in them, and then they just drop all over the other country. So like
that was like what they did for in Cuba, the people in Miami, the anti-Fidel Castro people. They would fly over and drop pamphlets. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. So they've been propaganding each other like this across the border for a long time. But what was so bad about this particular propaganda that has Kim Jong-un upset and making noise? Well, it was photoshopped nudes of his wife.
No!
That's diabolical.
Shit.
Yeah, pretty bad, really bad. So understandably,
that's high school level shit. That's awesome.
Oh my God, you're gonna get a reaction out of that.
Yeah, you will. So in response, he blew up his own building, like I was saying. The building that was supposed to be like a sign of friendship with South Korea, he just exploded it, demolitioned
He blew up the friendship building.
Yeah, and then he sent more of his troops to the border and announced that he'd be picking back up his military exercises in anticipation of some sort of conflict with his southern neighbor very soon.
Holy shit.
Guys,
why did they do that?
You know what this is, right? Kim Jong-un didn't give a shit about the pamphlets. He's just been on that goddamn pleasure cruise and he needed to have a grand gesture to show his wife he was still engaged. This was a relationship-saving gesture.
You think he's been coming down forever.
I just love you so much and I get so mad. I'm going to blow that building up.
That makes total sense. He blew up the friendship building for her because he's so mad.
For
they
sure.
disrespected her. That makes sense.
I agree with that, Pat. And also that's why I was saying, like, it's a combo, right? He's upset, obviously. He doesn't want Photoshop nudes of his wife running around, but he also needs to make a statement, right?
Well, do you think it was Pat, do you think it was an inside job? Do you think it was like a fake float over the zone and it was just like a North Korean that did it?
We'd have to look at the quality of the photoshopping to really tell.
Has South Korea said anything about it?
No. I haven't seen anything. The Russian ambassador, I think, is the guy who said that the photoshopping was of low quality. But I didn't get that
conspiracy.
Deep. We need to look it up. But part of me wonders if this could all just be solved by like getting Kim Jong-un like the Stouffer's mac and cheese tap that they're making, get him an early model of that, or like maybe just send over pamphlets of him with his head on Mandingo's body. Something like that. Like I feel like Kim Jong-un would, you'd go for either of those. A second piranha take something. Taking it to the internet, Famine on Mars says a king defending his honor, which I mean, like nudes of your wife, like that's. Yeah, I get he's a dictator, but I mean, you got to kind of understand that a little bit to be upset.
Oh, absolutely. Nudes of your wife is that's a fight.
Guys,
that's fighting words.
Imagine. Okay, so the North Korean dictator did this after a shitty collage job of his wife. Imagine a deep fake of his wife. He's going to go
like
nuclear.
a real, yeah. You don't want his finger near the button on that day. And then Abe Beam, he says tit for tat.
I'm sorry. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But even with all that, Kim Jong-un hasn't been spotted in public in weeks, so he just made this ruckus, blew up the building, and then went back underground. Rumors of his death are swirling again, despite him definitely just being on another pleasure cruise. So don't get too excited.
If this wasn't like a inside job, I would just love to see footage of him when he found out about it.
Oh yeah, bro. It got me thinking. You know what might be a more cutting?
He was angry.
Than your wife banging someone else's, you banging your wife, but making the dick smaller and having her not being satisfied. Leaking footage of you not satisfying your wife in a deep
creating a fake one. Yeah, I mean that's coming up. They can make bad porns of you, like a fake bad.
Yeah, they
porn
deep-faked my dick.
My dick is so much bigger than this.
Sure, Kim Jong-un. Sure.
Also, Mark, I know what you're saying. Like Kim, of all people, he would have an all-time shocked face.
That's what I'm saying. Like he might just poop his pants right there because he knows that like after the embarrassment of pooping his pants in front of people, his reaction is going to be so intense that no one's going to talk shit about him pooping his pants.
I bet he grew an inch. I bet it shook him out of his growth spurt. It was probably intense for him.
He might have like lost some teeth. They might have popped out of his face.
He definitely shot a staff member. That's a guarantee.
Yeah, exactly. He definitely shot the first person that walked in front of him.
Yeah, his eyes just get like so wide, and his head turns just like bright red. Like
you can't deliver that news. You can't be the person delivering that news.
Calling sick that day.
Yeah.
They need to get China needs to bug his little room there and then release the footage of his best reactions because I bet they are. Gold.
Yeah, that's the type of news you send in your office enemy to deliver.
That's a viral video.
Jerry said he wanted to hear from you.
People keep trying to shove it under his door so he discovers it himself. No one can actually tell him that, you know.
Oh,
I think the only safe way is if we have Rodman do this.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, they should. I mean, they need to just get Rodman on payroll so he's over there all the time, just so he can do everything that's going to upset Kim Jong-un. Yeah, because it seems to be the only. He's like the whisperer, the KJU whisperer.
He's like, it's probably deep fake. Don't worry. I know. I've seen your dick. It's bigger than that. It's okay. It's probably a deep fake.
All right, and that's going to do it for Hard Factor today. Thank you, as always, for listening. We've got another show for you tomorrow celebrating the 4th of July because unlike other podcasts who might quit on you, like a bunch of communist Nazis when the going gets tough.
Yeah, when you need them the most on 4th of July week.
Yeah, when you really got to have that entertainment on your holiday week. Well, we here at Hard Factor take our daily entertainment seriously in getting you the content you need, even on a holiday week. So that's why we got another great show for you tomorrow, celebrating the importance of the 4th of July. And speaking of that, please drop us a 5-star review on iTunes. Support the boys with the Hard Factor merch buy at the Barstool store. Follow us on social at Hard Factor Mark, at Hard Factor Pat, at Hard Factor Will, and at Hard Factor Wes. And most importantly, have a great fucking Thursday.